Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Hello guys, welcome to the TFG Cricket Podcast. My name is Nikhil and today we are going to discuss on an unusual topic which is usually taken up by some of our ex-cricketers, retired cricketers. Basically we are focusing on Ravi Shastri, who has been saying a lot of things and which might not make much of a sense to, the normal cricket followers. I have with me Vivek Krishnan and CP Thomas. Vivek, why don't you just jump the gun and talk about...
So he said this, it all started, obviously, we know, dates back to that coaching episode when Anil Kumble was chosen ahead of everybody. And we know the panel comprised of Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, VVS, Rahul Dravid and all. Bad taste, again, he shouldn't have said this. And obviously this comes on the fall of MS Dhoni's when he said, okay, I'm not going to captain the Indian team anymore. And then people start making comments, people draw analysis, then they give their take on who is the best. And obviously we all know numbers alone suggest that MS is the best leader India ever had in terms of ODI and T20 cricket. But you talk about test match cricket, it's a different ball game. And we have had fine leaders over the years. Talk about Pataudi, Ajit Wadekar, even Rahul Dravid. Not too many people talk about Rahul Dravid. We won test match in South Africa. We won the series after many years in England. This was in 2007. And everything, unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know, gravitates towards Saurav Ganguly. And you know why Shastri had a dig at Saurav. And then suddenly you see Mohammad Azharuddin coming into the picture. Out of nowhere. I don't know usko kitna right hai ye bolne ke liye.
Nowhere nahi, wo election lad raha hai, aisa thodi hai.
Yes, so he's contesting for the Hyderabad Cricket Association top spot president. But I think there is a bias. I mean, let's not talk about what Azhar had to say about this thing, but there is a bias, Nikhil. How can you omit Saurav Ganguly, who taught India how to win away? Yes, we didn't win many series, but the triumph in Australia, we did well in England also. I remember 2002, Headingley, and even one-day cricket, the way he took the challenge, that NatWest Trophy, famous match. And Saurav Ganguly, we are not here to discuss Saurav Ganguly's greatness as a captain. But I think if you just look at the numbers and Ravi Shastri deep down will know. Okay. This is a very foolish comment. I think this is, as they say, heat of the moment mein kuch bolna tha, so he has said this.
So just picking up on that point, Ravi Shastri said that Dhoni is a Dada captain. CP, is it the right way to put this forward?
Of course not. I mean, so in case... So Ravi Shastri, I wouldn't call him dumb, but in this case, definitely, in case somebody missed the point, he said, "Oh, Dada captain bhi bol denge," so that okay, they should notice that I have omitted Ganguly, but I have made Dhoni the Dada. I mean, childish is also an understatement. It's like silly to the core. And see, the Fan Garage was the first to actually say that Kumble will be chosen over Ravi Shastri, and we had analysed it very well on why. But of course, this is where Shastri, despite having the credentials, despite being a go-getter, despite having the talent to, bring together a team and get them to win, there also he had made this statement that now he calls Dhoni Dada captain, but at that time he said it's time for Dhoni to go and Virat should be handed over all three formats, and this was a year ago. So I think he has this foot in the mouth problem, and it's a big problem because you're talking at the national level and you're talking things which people are unlikely to agree with, and naturally Azhar jumping in on is like not a coincidence. But it was the apt moment for him to come in, and what he's saying is opportunist. But the thing
because
remains
he's fighting the election.
Absolutely. But thing remains that there's no doubt that if there is a list of great captains, Ganguly comes in. And India can't talk about numbers except for the last 10 years when Dhoni started bringing in trophies and even in the test matches, first time we became a test number one team. And so if you look at all the others, you only can pick on certain iconic series or iconic things that they did to change the fortune of Indian cricket. Kapil winning the World Cup, Ajit Wadekar winning the first match on foreign soil.
Yeah.
So Dada actually bringing in that culture of ki we are not scared to win kind of thing, you know. It's not that whenever we went out, okay, theek hai, har ke aane wale, kuch farak nahi girta hai, you know. It's not like that. And of course, Dada should be given a medal for persisting with Dhoni and supporting him. And I mean, Dhoni wouldn't have been there if Dada hadn't given him those chances.
Yeah.
So I think there are certain reasons why we have the best captains. If at all there is a list of best captains, there would be certain reasons.
But is it right to put, you know, this kind of nomenclature saying best captain and then compare two captains? How do we do that?
It's an opinion at the end of the day. But I would like to say, if I remember correctly, Nikhil, when we were watching cricket in the early 2000s, when Saurav was captaining India overseas, we always had Sunil Gavaskar and Ravi Shastri doing commentary. And I remember he was always a big supporter of Ganguly. I'm talking about Ravi Shastri. So I don't understand why this switch sudden. Because if you have been a supporter for whatever Ganguly has done, and the numbers don't change, numbers in 2000, you had a number in 2003 that's going to remain the same in 2020 also. That's not going to change. So why is this sudden change in the opinion? This is something that I don't understand. Personal bias, yes. And again, you have to talk Indian cricket, and your basic agenda should be betterment of Indian cricket. That should be your biggest motive. It shouldn't be if I am the chairperson, if you are the chairperson, I'm interviewing you, you are interviewing me. All this, you don't wash dirty linen in public. If at all you have any issues, sort it out indoors. Don't come out and I'm holidaying in Thailand, you are not in the BCCI office questioning and pointing fingers. This is not good. And given the fact that Indian cricket is doing so well, why this outside battle? And I think both. I mean, I think like CP said, Ravi Shastri still has. I think he's got a very strong voice in Indian cricket. He still can contribute in a lot of ways, and so is the case with Ganguly. So I think both should come together and call for truce. Why? I don't know. I'm waiting for a retaliation from Saurav.
No. He won't retaliate, and there's no truce happening because Ganguly doesn't need Shastri. And if Shastri was a little smarter and diplomatic, he should read the writing on the wall that Saurav, after this Lodha committee and Supreme Court thing, Ganguly is going to be a big force in Indian cricket because he is the most eligible. He has the perception, perception
and
also.
He has the backing.
Absolutely. And also the person, nobody is going to, if after Sachin somebody says, okay, administrator chahiye, it should be Ganguly because, and he's got the experience now. So, I mean, I don't know what got over Ravi Shastri to even do this exercise of trying to pick the best captains.
We should discover where he was when he said this. I remember during his interview he was in Thailand. So you don't know what Ravi Shastri is capable of.
But let me ask you guys another question. These ex-cricketers, okay, nowadays they basically come into the limelight when they say something like this, okay. I'm talking about obviously Ravi Shastri things. Few months back we had Sandeep Patil coming up and saying that, you know, Sachin ko maine bithaya, and then I'm not even considering the views of Yuvraj's father on Dhoni. So, you know, I mean, ex-cricketer now they have only this platform to come up and talk about it.
Sad.
No, it's sad, but there are a handful of them. The others most of them are doing good work and, you know, contributing to cricket. If that hadn't happened, naturally cricket wouldn't have gone where it has gone. So, see, there is a transition period in the whole fortunes of BCCI and the way it's going to be structured and how it will function. But the game is very big and the board itself is very strong. So it's just a matter of time all these get aligned and things come back. And there will be these voices because in any institution or organization there are bound to be people who don't see things going the way they would like it to go. And naturally there would be voices. But the problem with a Ravi Shastri kind of comment is that it's not based on facts. It's not based... So it stands out and, you know, you become a laughing stock more than anybody worrying about, because nobody is going to even question whether Dada is one of the best captains or not, and all. They're going to just laugh at Ravi Shastri, which is what is happening, and sad. But
And if you have to raise someone, I know Dhoni deserves everything and he has to talk big about Dhoni, yes, but that doesn't mean you have to put down somebody else, right? Ganguly has served Indian cricket for many, many years and continues to do so. And like CP said, he could possibly govern the Indian cricket board, man, the sport in our country. And why do you want to say these things? Shastri, I really hope he continues his commentary stint, because you and I, Nikhil, and many other fans, we like his views.
Yes.
He brings something to the table that not many can offer.
high energy and,
Yes.
and good knowledge of
Yes,
the
good
game.
knowledge.
And he's a great performer. He's done well for the country.
Yes.
And he's contributed a lot. It's
Absolutely.
not-
I think he should have taken that. People talk about how Ganguly and others snubbed him, but I think you have to. These things happen, Nikhil. These things happen in sport, in any walk of life. And if you're not equipped, if you're not qualified, so be it. Try and become a better man next
I
day,
think
rather than holding on to the
Yeah.
past, all this grudge, and it's not helping anybody.
I think we can end by saying this, that in sport, the first thing you have to learn is to be a good loser. Everybody can be a good winner, but if you're a good loser, then you should enter sports. If you can't be a good loser, boss, TV dekho. Aur kuch
And
nahi.
isn't it ironic? Ganguly was not a great loser when he
Great.
started off.
He was never.
See, but he has changed.
Yeah.
He has changed, and that's why he has the backing of Rahul, VVS, Anil, and Sachin. So.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll conclude this part of our podcast. Where
Move on to another captain, now ex-captain.
yeah, we have a Protea fan over here, and he is gonna speak a bit about Hashim Amla, who will be playing his 100th test today.
Yes, that's correct.
But he is not in a good form.
No, he's going through probably the worst form of
But
his
then,
life.
what reminds you of Hashim Amla?
Hashim Amla for me has been, I don't like to use this word wall, but he's been a backbone. But he's been a backbone for
Even
South
Dravid
Africa.
doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's been a backbone, Nikhil, as far as batting is concerned. You look at those numbers, almost more than 7,500 in test matches, with an average of, I think it has dropped under 50, because he's not got 100 in the last 14-15 innings that he has played. But he started right here in India. This was at the Eden Gardens. I remember making his debut. He had a very dodgy technique. He was always premeditated, he always wanted to play on the leg side. He didn't have anything going through the offside. And Zair Khan obviously bothered him. And the spinners were all over. You're talking about Anil Kumble, Harbhajan at their peak. And then Hashim Amla got dropped.
Yeah.
And then he went back to domestic cricket. The way he came back, again, Indian tour. And that 253 probably was the making of Hashim Amla at Nagpur. When South Africa won that test match. And in the following series, where he batted, I think, almost 9 hours with tail-enders. And how, from an absolute horrible position, he would have walked out with a draw. I mean, South Africa, this was at the Eden Gardens. About 70,000 people were watching that game. And Hashim Amla was one man standing between India and victory. And the pitch was very, very bad. It was almost the curator had dug 2 holes, one end for Anil, one end for Harbhajan, and both were bowling on the exactly same spot. But Hashim Amla, sheer craftiness, sheer doggedness, the determination to succeed. Unfortunately, I think with 9 balls to spare for the day, I think South Africa lost that test match. And then 300 at the Oval. You can talk about all the 25-2600s. But I mean, he's been someone who's been called names like terrorist. He's been called color player, somebody who has got into the system because of quota and so many other things. But I think very not fussy, and in fact he took immense courage when he said, when he wrote to Cricket South Africa saying, I'm not going to wear this jersey which carries the beer emblem or something. And because obviously we respect religion, we respect sentiments and all that, and because of, and he got a lot of flack for that as well. But again, he moved on with the game, and the way he is, I think he will go down as one of the best ever in test match cricket. Having said that, you look at his ODI numbers, he carried an average of almost 63-64
Okay.
You know, and he had played a handful of ODIs, scored runs everywhere. People talk about how he falls into that classic Mahela Jayawardene Sangakkara category. People said he can't play one-day cricket. Look what he has done. Then people said he can't play T20 cricket. I think about a month ago when South Africa were in Australia, he scored 90 in no time against a top-quality Australian attack. Because of which I think he got drafted into the IPL. He made his debut last season with Kings 11 Punjab. And that was the innings, you know, which forced people to think, okay, this guy can play T20 cricket. Again, talk about adaptability, talk about being a team man. After scoring that double 100 against West Indies at Cape Town last year, he said, I can't captain because I need to focus on my game. And we still have good 2-3 years left in him, but he's been a great servant of South African cricket and cricket fans across the world. We have been
You know, and it was
treated
great to
to
see-
some artistry, man. You look
Yeah.
at his batting, so wristy. He reminds you of Mohammad Azharuddin, VVS, Lakshman, Gundappa, Vishwanath, Arvinda De Silva, these guys. So just been a phenomenal contributor.
Yeah, and it was great to see that after so many years, he brings in Jack Ellis and, you know, try to learn the technique.
That shows the desperation.
Yeah.
Something what Sachin spoke about, something what Rahul Dravid spoke about. Last day I go to my brother and say, boss, I have one more day left in international cricket. Tell me what I need to do. So is the case with Hashim Amla.
Yeah.
How many greats will say this? Jack Ellis, please come over. I need to spend about 2 hours. Throwdowns, 200 balls. You don't need to. What is there to prove now? You have accomplished everything. You will go down as one of the greats of the game, but that shows the desperation, the appetite, man. And I really hope, you know, he gets back to form sooner than later. And I think Sri Lanka will pay big time at Johannesburg because as we have seen in the past, the first day and a bit, the track is going to be pacey, but it settles down nicely. And if you get your eye in at Joburg, boss, 200, 250, Sri Lanka, not very potent attack. Malum nahi yaar, you never know. And then obviously he's going to travel to New Zealand. So we'll wait and see.
But I think for me, the most important fact is that, of course, he came in as a batsman, but to end up as the captain of the team, you know, it's that itself says a lot for after all that he went through, whether it's form or off the field,
discrimination,
problem session,
whatever.
everything. I mean, to have captained the side and that with greats in the team. You know,
Yes,
the South African
yes.
team has always had high quality
Yeah,
players.
he had
and
AB de Villiers, he had Faf Du, he had Graham Smith, Jack Cullis, everybody, Mark Boucher, Sean Pollock, and I think he's become the 8th South African now to play 100 test matches.
Okay.
Yeah, and Faf Du said he could be the last one, given the way, you know, people, some are signing Kolpak contracts. Some are so busy playing T20 franchisee cricket. I don't know what's in store for test match cricket, but I think the next one who's nearing 100 tests is Dale Steyn, 85, 86 test matches. Still about 14, 15 to go.
But there are
with the
huge injury concerns.
Injuries, man.
Yeah.
You still, I mean, if you have to play 14 test matches, you need at least good 2-3 years of fitness because teams don't play too many test matches, right, these days, and people have started picking and choosing. I don't know. Maybe Faf Du is right.
Okay.
But
I
as a
think-
captain,
I
he
think-
shouldn't be saying these things. He shouldn't be saying these
No,
things.
he's looking. See, he's making statements at a very broader level about the number of test matches that are likely to. See, to now, even if you take 10 test matches in a year, to complete 100, you need 10 years of
Yes.
active cricket, being in the team, and with top teams like whether it's India, England, Australia, South Africa, even West Indies, there's so much talent out there. If like even in India, we are seeing there are always 2-3 players who can still be dropped from the team. There's nobody like saying, okay, my position in the team, especially batsmen.
Yeah, it's not secured.
Yeah, it's absolutely. So
Yeah.
to complete 100 test matches is going to be a huge task going forward for anybody.
Yes.
And with there is easy money out there. There's temptation. Okay, I've done my
Yeah.
tests and I've played 50, 60. Who wants to play another 5 years to reach the 100 figure?
Yeah.
And when you can play 2 T20 leagues and earn in the dollars. So
Absolutely.
What Faf is saying is right. But
And the next generation
Hashim-
doesn't want
yeah.
to play test match cricket.
Yep.
One of our school boys in Bombay said this. I don't want to name him. Upon asked, what do you want to do in your cricket career? He said, I want to play IPL for India.
नाम बोल देना उसका यार क्या फर्क गिरता है कुछ नहीं
मेरे को मालूम नहीं उसका नाम.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
But this is what he said. and carried big headline, one of the leading dailies.
IPL for India.
IPL for India. That's it. Ban karo Giles Shield, Harris Shield.
Okay. On that note, definitely a great cricketer. We'll love to see him play
मुझे
more.
भी खेलना है IPL for India.
You can read on to our articles on thefangarage.com. You can follow us on Twitter at The Fan Garage and on Facebook at The Fan Garage. You can listen to our podcast on Indusworks Media, Audio Boom, iTunes, and YouTube. Definitely subscribe to us. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Our podcasts bring all the boys to the yard, and damn right, they're better than yours. But you don't need to stand outside in the yard. Just follow IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We might be on Tinder too. Just go ahead and swipe right.